G'day guys, just going to pop up a preview for the harness meeting on Friday night, the 16th of November. Not too overly keen on anything. If you just want to know what I've tipped without sort of punishing your eardrums, listen to my prattle for 13 or 14 minutes, then just scroll to the end. I'll just recap the individual selections then. 5:30 start, 5:34, 8 races. Kick off with the 5th heat of the Young Bloods Challenge. Kudarox obviously does pick himself. The only slight query here is if Little Bit of Big does hold the front, which is a fair chance it may, it might, if On Full Tilt was aggressively driven last week, because I couldn't imagine Kudarox would want to hand the death up. Could create a bit of a war, and you've got a couple of good sit sprinters out the back here in Ready to Fire and Go GG, so that's the only slight reservation if you want to lay the short odds. I do have Bet365 odds here. It's, just find them the easiest ones to view in this platform with the black background, so and they're all same prices anyway. So $1.70, I think it's about right price, but if you're going to take that type of price, you don't want that question mark hanging over how the race is going to be run. So forced to pick one. I think whatever happens early, Frankie Falzoni is going to lob 1-1, so maybe a small place bet on Frankie. If a Little Bit of Big holds, Kudarox death seats, Frankie will be 1-1. If Kudarox leads, On Full Tilt will go forward and you'll still be 1-1. So, yeah, but don't go overboard in the first. In the second, it's the Mother of Pearl, which is one of the feature mares races in the state. I think it's worth 12,000. I think if we just look here, we've got like Call of Julie's a C10, taking on C3s, C1s even. The one thing with her though, she only goes the one speed all day, so she'll give you a heart attack if you lay the shorts, but she obviously, class alone, deserves favouritism. And she's going okay. She's on a very tough mark. She's taking on free-for-all horses, so the drop in grade will make it obviously be much appreciated for her. Both Courageous Katie Adele said going well. Just hard to see them beating the favourite. Kavita Valise ran her best race in ages the other day, and if just the way it may be run, it might turn into if it does, she gets the right card up, fresh horse late, can be very dangerous. And Rockwell Highlight's well graded, but does tend to run her best races in front. But Call of Julie, just looks a graded certainty, but he said it's just the way I bet now. Don't launch into horses from the second row at that type of price. I'd rather back something, 1x4 at $10.250. If it wins of it, you get the same collectors having 5 units on an even money pop. So that's a lot less stressful as you get a bit older. In the third, Secluded Beach's been super in both Tasmanian runs. Imagine he just pushes forward and parks outside. He's the one. Major dangers appear to be the bottom two are both very dangerous sit sprinters, but will obviously need a bit of tempo on mid-race. Just not sure they'll get it. I don't think there's value in either price unless you know that the speed's going to be hammering. I imagine Secluded Beach starts closer to even money than that. But the one I'll be having something on, T's the one. Drops in grade a little on his past few. Will be on each way. I might just get to video of his last run. Right, so this was in a C4 to 6 race. This is a C3 to 5, and a lot of these are, you can see, so it's a big drop in grade from Laredo, Torpedo and Co.
And ticket almost.
So draws barrier 4 here, just behind the mobile. And comes out running here, knowing that the lead and the middle horse here actually kicks up and posts him, and he has to go back. Obviously, like, he would have finished up lobbing in here, which is exactly where he would have finished up if he didn't do any work early anyway, without expending that energy. And if we just watch the last lap, so here he is 1/2 in the middle here. You know, like, he's no certainty beaten or anything, but if you take into account that early energy that he used, and like Laredo Torpedo walks in, but he'd be $1.20 in this race tonight anyway. You just see he doesn't have the best of luck over the last 400 metres, so you know, and I'm just saying leading and not copping a great deal of pressure. So, you know, just more the place than a win. And, you know, happy to have something on. As if they do leave him alone, he can run a quick last quarter. So, yeah, something on. He's the one. And if you're playing multis, who else we got? Lake Air was okay last week. Whatever draws Barrier 8, Spot 8's the emergency to trail, he's the one. Or Castor Troy. They're obviously a must in the bottom two. And that just about pulls the race up, chances wise. The fourth is the Danbury Park Cup. Scooter will rev second up. First up run was a pass. Like, it wasn't brilliant. It wasn't terrible. You know, would you rush in at that price? Probably not. Riverboat Jasper's got a good record in these races. Mr. Lennox resumed with a very good run. The stand's a big query with him. He does have his issues. Medal of Honour has been pretty good in both Tasmanian starts, and a couple of Rockin' and Running's very honest. Happened to step and lead. Even safe beginning with a soft pegs run sort of in the mix. And a couple of 14A Black Centurion, Chief Destroyer have good stand records, but obviously Full Speed Ed's one I've forgotten as well. Total Forgive at Devonport, his run was still okay. I just don't think he handles the tight tracks. So I appreciate the return to Launceston. But the one, so look at these odds. The one, Medal of Honour, $14. I might just queue up the replay of his past couple. So Medal of Honour, oh, he's in a very similar race here a couple of weeks ago, first up in Tassie. This was over the 2200.
In Tasmania.
So obviously there's another 500 metres. Draws inside the second race, Scooter will rev. So you see steps okay, Medal of Honour, and then just rolls into a gallop and actually settles last. So he's given away, he had 20 metre head start over like Scooter will rev and co. And he's always been a good stayer. You know, in his younger days he's quite a handy horse actually. So see he's last on the outside here, trailing Scooter. So Scooter's 4 wide, and here's Medal of Honour. You know, he sticks to his guns pretty well the last 100 metres. Give the indication that the 2700 trip won't be an issue. He's full speed ahead, just keeps finding, so you'll love the extra distance. Yeah, I just think, you know, double figure odds, safe getaway. What will be worth the one at those top, you know, it's one of those races you don't want to launch into something at the shorts, you prefer to look for a bit of value. So, and even at his latest run,
Speed, they're all up on.
Did a pair of work early. You can see here, burning for the lead. Caller Julie, who we point out in the mares race, kicking up. So, and then he's like outside the leader and gone for home down the back, and actually we'll just, you can see here he's Mr. Lennox grabbed him, but obviously had a cold sit all the way. Here's Teresi's a very good miler. You can see it's only the last little bit, it's hit the wall, still gone, plenty of merit in the run. So something on Medal of Honour at double figures. The fifth, Tricky little race this. Pretty even lot if truth be told. Miracle Marcus, miles in his favour, but you couldn't take that price in a fit. I thought he might have been supported. Yeah, so he's probably sort of $3.50 pop around there. I haven't actually priced the race, but you know, it's just one of those races. The one I actually had something on is Stylish Trend. The big odds have gone. You know, he's good record in miles, goes well for Hannah. Yeah, it was just went sort of shopping for a bit of value. So, yeah, but as I mentioned, it was just a race on, you know, just a total raffle. So I just had a few coins on Stylish Trend at the big odds. The 6th, 22 carat, virtually picks himself. Lead Singer was very good in defeat first up at Devonport. Probably should have won, beat Rattlin Hum. But obviously you'd imagine 22 carat leads, even though Lead Singer does have good gate speed. The bet in the race, Streetside Classic. You know, like, where are we? If we go look at Streetside Classic's form, like he cops a bit of a ribbing, you know, because he's won 4 of 77, but oops, he's also run 40 placings. And if we look at the likely speed map, 22 carat leads, Streetside Classic first outside and Lead Singer to the death. And you imagine they stay there, so he's going to lob 1-1. He goes to 1 speed all day, so he'll just keep whacking away in the straight. Which Master I was keen on last week. You can see from that speed map, it's a terrible speed map for him. He's going to have to go back. Rattlin Hum, Tiju Bombell got good runs. And obviously I've got almost one for exotics as well. So, but I think that just about rounds the race up for chances wise. But it's very hard to see Streetside Classic turning the tails on 22 carat, but if you do back him a place, just have a couple of coins a win in case they get into a war up front. The 7th, probably make the best bet here in the form of Art Frenzy, who's first up. Did have good form last time. In first campaign, he had 4 starts and actually raced in some pretty handy, you know, look, the 3CO to C1 races, you get some dead set dingoes in them sometimes, but taking on some pretty handy types. You know, like Roll on Jack, Yats and Yook Lees, Believe in Forever. So if we just have a look at it, might just go have a look at a replay of his last win. Yeah, so this was before a spell. And one thing you can take into account here is you're 157.8.
Out of 460.
And Flashy Ruler's in this race as well. He's the grey. He draws barrier 4, Art Frenzy. And Crackerjack's Judge has actually got very good gate speed, and he's crossed him. And he actually pulls pretty hard mid-race. You can see here, he's fired right up and broke gear. And sort of holds them. This is Ideal Corralda, who's in the race tonight. Flashy Ruler. You know, so a couple of his major dangers he beat last time. The query with him is the 2200. I imagine he's got more gate speed than Keep Playing and Flashy Ruler. So Ashadi does have gate speed, but she's a dead set miler, so you imagine she takes a sit over this trip. And obviously some pretty handy for like some horses going okay from bad draws. So, but the one thing, as mentioned, that was all in one campaign last time, and he always looked if he's got his fair share of ability. He's had that break, so you'd imagine any bit of improvement at all, and he's probably a good thing in this race. He did actually trial as well. Just waiting for the trial to load. Here we go. So you can see he actually beat Ideal Corralda in the trial by 6 metres. 2:3.6, actually pretty fair time for Carrick as well. Ideal Corralda came out and won first up, death seeding at Devonport. It's in the race again tonight. Actually, from this trial, I mean, Riverbait Jasper came out and won. Secluded Beach came out and won. North Star Lead came out and won. So let's hope the pattern continues, and he ran better time than all of them. So I just think at the $5 we can do far worse than Art Frenzy. Probably know our fate early if a Charlie holds in. And obviously if he pulls his head off as well, that's also on the cards. So for that reason, I might also have a few coins on North Star Lad at the big odds. It always looked like he might make a horse when it all clicks with him. So, and you imagine, like it's going to get the right type of run. Like Ideal Corrado probably leads a 3 wide line up, so he'll probably be glued to his back early. So, yeah, but Laconic Germain was okay first up. And yeah, there's a few keep playing. Hashali, as I mentioned, Flashy Ruler. Make a case for a number of them, but happy to make Art Frenzy the best on the card. I can't say the price shortening too much from that either. And the last is a tricky one. The reason I struggle with is I actually got Nick's pick leading, which could turn the race into a dead set raffle. Our Wonder Woman was okay at Devonport when she resumed. Joan Kay was in the same race, and there wasn't too much between their runs on merit. Invest has been competitive against far better than this, but it's a tricky draw. The very interesting runner is Safari Oki, obviously Lemon Drop Kid as well. Both of these first up in the state from Mount Gambier. The Lemon Drop Kid's got fair form. And Safari Oki, who's first up for Kate McLeod, has done things wrong on occasions, but, also shown glimpses of ability. So, and as I mentioned, Nick's pick is the one I've probably got leading, and she trails it through, so should be getting a good run in transit. Yeah, so happy to have something on at the sort of $8 or so. Haven't actually checked what everyone else is betting. Probably pay to wait if she gets supported. Have bet with more confidence first up for the new stable, because obviously stablemate of Joan Kay, who's in the market as well, who's actually being supported itself, might be telling us something, but if it drifts out, so still going to have a couple of coins, just a smaller bet if she on the drift. Just going to let the market tell me what they think of her chances first up for the new stable. So just recapping, the best bet was race 7, number 4, Art Frenzy. And the best value was race 4, number 12, I think it was. Yep, Medal of Honour at $14. So I think all those prices are the same right across every bookmaker, and Tabcorp, UBet tend to just copy them as well when they open up. So yeah, so anyway guys, they're the two. Won't be busting the bank. Not a bad meeting. You just obviously sometimes when you bet, you look at a meeting you like 5 or 6, and other meetings you struggle to find any, but have to take what you're given. You can't pretend that you like them when you don't, just for transparency's sake. So anyway, we'll pop up something for the Gallops on Saturday Arvo in Hobart. So until then, I'll leave you with it, and let's hope we can sneak one over the line tonight. But thanks again for listening. Cheers guys.